Good evening. My name is Shirley Jackson, and on behalf of the League of Women Voters of Livingston County, I welcome you to tonight's online forum featuring candidates for Hartland Cromaine District Library Board. The Cromaine District Library serves the townships of Hartland, Brighton, Deerfield, Genoa, Osceola, and Tyrone. That's a huge area. These candidates will be on the upcoming November 5th general election ballot. All 6 candidates running for the 3 seats on the Hartland Cromaine District Library Board were invited to participate in this forum, and we are honored by those who accepted. The League is a nonpartisan civic and political organization that encourages informed and active participation of all citizens in government. And the League does not support candidates or parties. However, we do take stands on issues that we have studied. One of the League's most important goals is to assist voters in making informed choices at the polls, and therefore we bring you tonight's program. We'd like to thank the Howell Carnegie Library for technology support, our guest moderator for the evening, Kelly Janai, who is Dean of Undergraduate Studies at Clear University, and our League timer, Ellen Lafferty. Kelly will now explain the forum's format and get us started.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Janai, and I will moderate the forum tonight. 2 of the 6 candidates for the Hamburg Township Library Board are with us tonight.
Hartland.
For the Hartland Cromaine Library Board are with us tonight. And it's my honor to introduce them. Candidate Mary Cafmeyer and candidate Holly Naylor.
Hello.
Listeners need to know that all candidates were invited to participate in this verbal question and answer format, and also invited to complete written answers in Vote 411, so voters can go there to get even more information. Thank you, candidates, for participating in this forum. We are now ready for opening statements that can last up to 1 minute each. Candidate Cafmeyer, we would like to begin with you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Mary Cafmeyer, and I am running for re-election to the Hartland Cromaine Library Board of Trustees. I am a current trustee and have been on the board for 14 years. While I have extensive experience that allows me to be an effective trustee, my biggest strength is my passion for the Cromaine Library and my strong desire to see it remain the gem that it is today. I frequent the library often, either volunteering, attending programs, or checking out the vast assortment of materials available to the public. I have a varied background that includes a wide variety of positions and skills, and I have nonprofit experience working at both a state university and a local charity. I have served as secretary of the board for most of my tenure. I have also chaired the Community Relations and Strategic Planning Committee and have been a member of the Personnel Committee. I have been involved in 2 director searches, 2 successful millage renewal campaigns, and 2 strategic plans. I am running for re-election because I want Cromaine to remain the open, welcoming place that it is today.
Thank you. And now, candidate Naylor, may we have your opening statement?
Yes. Hello, my name is Holly Naylor, and I'm running for re-election to the Hartland Cromaine Library Board of Trustees. I've been a Cromaine trustee since 2018. As a trustee, I have served on the Community Relations and Strategic Planning Committee, the Personnel Committee, and the Executive Director Search and Music Hall committees. I was elected president of the board in 2022. During my tenure as president, Cromaine's millage was renewed, guaranteeing our funding through 2032, and we completed the hiring process for our current library director. In addition to experience being on the board of trustees, I also have experience working for a board-led organization, which gives me insight into the different roles that trustees, directors, and staff need to play in order for the organization to be successful. I'm an experienced public speaker and a skilled meeting facilitator who runs our board meetings in a way that allows for in-depth conversation while also being mindful of time. I am proud to be a part of the Cromaine Library team.
Thank you, each of you. So it's time to begin answering questions from the community and rotating the order of candidate responses. We are going to start with candidate Naylor for the first question. So for the first question, Tell us why you are running. Why do you want to be on the Cromaine District Library Board?
Well, I'm running for re-election, so I am running because I love being on the board. I initially applied to be on the board to fill an opening in 2018 because libraries have been an incredibly important part of my life since I was a young child. And I wanted to give back to my community in this way. Cromaine is a gem. It's a fantastic place to be. So being a part of that team is very special. And it is really an honor to be able to bring my skills and my experience to the table to do my part to make sure that it continues to be a valued part of the community. Right now, I'm running for re-election because honestly, I believe I've done a really good job as a trustee and as president of the board. The last couple of years in particular have been quite turbulent, but we have a fully functional board despite some pretty deep splits in philosophy. And I do believe that at least part of that is because I have been able to run the meetings in a way that focuses on the library and the work of the library and minimizes kind of some of that outside noise and distraction. So I ask that the voters in the community ask themselves if you love your library. If so, I encourage you to re-elect the 3 incumbents.
Thank you. The question now goes to candidate Cafmeyer.
Thank you. Back in 2010, I was at some loose ends. I had taken a early retirement package after working at a company for 24 years. And I saw a little want ad at the Cromaine Library for trustee. And I thought, well, why not? I'm here all the time. I love the library. Let me give back. So I was filled to appoint a position. And then I have since run for 3 consecutive elections and been elected to the board. I actually, I feel like the old lady on the board because I have 14 years of experience. I have the longest tenure on the board. And we have new board members. So I think the experience that I have brings a lot to the table. The new board members don't really understand how the board meetings and the board should work at the library. So I'm hoping my experience can help with that. I love the library. That's why I want to remain there. My children grew up using the library. They did programs there. They actually even volunteered. They were summer volunteers there. So it runs deep in my family. And I just want to continue to keep it to be the wonderful place that it is.
Thank you. And for question number 2, we will start with candidate Cafmeyer this time. So question 2. What is your experience with public libraries, including your relationship or involvement with this library over the last 2 years? How often have you used the library services, including checking out materials, attending programs, or using the online catalog or website?
I'm there multiple times a week to the library. All the employees know me, the staff, everybody basically knows who I am. I attend many programs. I volunteer at some of the programs, and I can't wait for the last Thursday of every month to sign up for the new month's worth of programs. Some of the ones I like are very popular, so you got to be right on at 9 o'clock to try and get in. Yeah, so I mean, I have at least 3 things checked out right now. I use the library as it is intended. And back in the day, before I was on the library board, I used to buy books all the time. And then I'm like, why am I doing this when I have this library here? So I don't buy books anymore, and I use the library for what it's supposed to be.
Thank you. Candidate Naylor.
So my relationship and involvement with the library over the last 2 years, I've been president of the board of trustees. So pretty high level of involvement. I do put a significant amount of time and effort into preparing for meetings, understanding the issues, doing background research. I want to be sure that I come to our meetings and come to our decision points very well informed and having considered as many perspectives as possible. So I do put a lot of time into that kind of behind the scenes. My family also just uses the library all the time. One of my children is a highly involved teen volunteer, so I'm there all the time to drop her off or pick her up. We check out materials. Occasionally when I've got an after school activity and nowhere else to go, I'll just go and sit and read. It's a wonderful place to be and just to enjoy the atmosphere and talk to the staff. So I actually recently discovered Hoopla. So I hadn't been on board with the digital materials, but found myself without a book with some time on my hands. So downloaded one onto my phone, which was a fantastic resource. So there are so many things to do and so many ways to get involved at the library, and it changes as you kind of move through your life. So my kids are older, we do different things. And like Mary said, at some point it'll be me going to the evening events.
Thank you. For the third question, we'll start with candidate Naylor. How do you engage with social media, and how would you use social media to communicate with the public on important library matters?
So in general, my use of social media is pretty private. I have a private Facebook page that does not have very many followers because it's just friends and family. We do have a campaign Facebook page that is, currently engaging with the public. But beyond that, the communication belongs to the library staff. As a trustee, I'm not going to make any statements on behalf of the library or on behalf of the board unless we are actively at a board meeting. That is for the director and for the communications team at the library. So really the short answer is I use social media for my own personal use and for this campaign, but outside of that, I don't use it to communicate on important library matters.
Thank you. Candidate Cafmeyer.
Along the same lines as Holly, it's not our responsibility as the board to do social media for the library. However, I have liked all the libraries' Facebook, and so when they post something that I find especially interesting, I share it on my page. Like look at the great things my library is doing. So I do get it out that way to my family and friends, because my Facebook page is private as well. But and as far as me engaging in social media, that's probably the extent. And then other than our campaign Facebook page, which I've been a little bit more involved with.
Thank you. For the fourth question, we'll begin with candidate Cafmeyer. The library board meets monthly, including several monthly committee meetings. Are you prepared to represent the library board at public meetings, such as neighborhood association meetings, school board meetings, township or community meetings?
Oh, absolutely. I have done that. In my 14 years of being on the board, I have attended many township meetings. Typically, I go to the township meetings where I live, which is Tyrone Township. So they have seen me at multiple meetings there, especially when we were going through millage renewals. I would go to the township. We all did. All the board members went to, divvied up the townships and went to those meetings and talked up the library. So yes, I'm prepared. I'm on 2 committees now, plus the board, and any ad hoc committees that get started, I would attend as well. So yes, I have plenty of time for the library.
Thank you. Candidate Naylor.
Yes, I have attended a township meeting on behalf of the library. I'm prepared to really attend and represent whenever needed. I also will be volunteering at Hartland Art Walk this weekend because the library is an organization that's involved with that. We've attended I've attended Partners in Progress with Hartland Living. There are library board of trustee gatherings for the entire county where all of the trustees gather to learn. I attend as many of those as possible. I really do want to stay engaged with others doing this work, with others in our community, and to hear that feedback on what's going well, what's not going well, and what people in the community might want to see from the library.
Thank you. For our fifth question, tell us about the library's new strategic plan and how it was executed. What parts of the plan excite you as a trustee? We will begin with candidate Naylor.
So this one will be hard to put into 90 seconds. I'm very excited about our strategic plan. We first started talking about it at the beginning of 2022 and went through a process where the Community Relations and Strategic Planning Committee interviewed and vetted a couple of firms to provide this strategic plan process for us. We selected a firm, and there was extensive public involvement in our strategic planning process, which is really, really exciting. Between the focus groups and return surveys, we had over 1,200 people participate, which is just a massive number for a community of our size. The consulting firm was hoping for 300 people. So we really feel like we got a good understanding of what the community wants from the library in the next few years. And what they want is improved spaces and continued support of staff, both of which are things that I am passionate about. I'm really looking forward to improving the accessibility within our historic building. It's beautiful and it's wonderful, but it has its quirks. So we're going to make sure that it is accessible for everybody who wants to be there. And I'm most excited for the outdoor project that we're going to be doing. We have our South Lawn that is used for our summer concerts and events. And we are going to be putting in a pavilion and shade and just some beautiful, beautiful spaces for the entire community to use.
Thank you. Candidate Cafmeyer.
Yes, I'm very excited about it as well. This is the second strategic plan that I've gone through since I've been on the board for so long. I was on the committee that vetted the companies, and I think we chose a very good company, and I'm very happy with the processes and the results. And like Holly said, we got a lot of good input from the community. The four items are elevate outdoor spaces, improve interior spaces, increase investments in people, and extend outreach. Holly touched a little bit on the outdoor spaces, which it's going to be great. And as well as interior, we've had our handicap accessibility evaluated, and we're trying to improve on that. But I'm excited by all of them, but I really love the new website. We have a new website. It was very difficult to maneuver on your phone on the old website. So the new website is wonderful. Feedback has been great. And I'm excited about the drive up book drop. That was one of my big things. And extending outreach is really huge because we still have people in the rural community that for one reason or another can't get to the library, don't have internet. So I'm really excited about reaching those people.
Thank you. Our sixth question. As a trustee, what do you believe are the priority issues facing the library right now? How would you address them if elected? We'll start with candidate Cafmeyer.
Yeah, as a trustee, it's changed over the years. Prior to about 2, 3, 4 years ago, these questions would have been answered very differently. One would have been just keeping the library relevant. A lot of people think in this day and age with internet, who needs a library? You know, I've had people hold up their phone and say, here's my library. I don't need your library. But we do so much more than just loan books. And so we still need to keep that going, obviously offering all the things that we do. But today, unfortunately, there are other forces undermining our library. And I am taking my oath as a trustee very seriously. And I swore to support the US Constitution, and that I will do. And I think, unfortunately, that is one of our biggest problems today facing the library.
Thank you. Candidate Naylor.
Yeah, to echo Mary, this is my third election, and my answer for this question the previous 2 times was that relevance question. How can we continue to keep up with the times? Right now, the priority issue, I think there is intense pressure, not just in libraries, but in local organizations and local elected boards to be we're nonpartisan. We are there to represent everybody in the community. And I take that very seriously and work very hard at that. There is a lot of pressure now and some very vocal people who are attempting to insert politics into a nonpartisan space. And I think in the long run that will be very, very damaging to the library. I think it will cause people to lose trust in the library. And I believe that our fundamental role is to protect the Cromaine Library and to protect the access of people to information. The Board of Trustees needs to protect the First Amendment for everyone in our community, and we need to make sure that everyone's voices are heard and no individual's or group's opinion is valued or allowed to influence the decision-making of the Board of Trustees. We're there to back up our staff and to protect the First Amendment. And I believe that is the most critical issue we're facing right now.
Thank you. For question 7, we'll begin with candidate Naylor. Are there any books or materials you would like to see removed or given special treatment in the library? Are there any circumstances in which you would support moving or removing books or materials currently in the library's collection?
So here's the thing, that's not a trustee role. It is not the trustees or the Board of Trustees' responsibility to interfere in the collections development process until the very end when somebody is requesting a review of a book challenge decision that they've been given. So as a trustee, I would say I will follow the lead of our staff members and their professionalism and their expertise, and will support them in decisions they make on where a book should be in the library and if they support moving something. There are some materials in our library that do get special treatment. We have historic documents that are stored differently from other books. We have like CDs, obviously, the library of things. Some things need to be treated differently because they are different. But I believe this question is asking about the content of the books. So no, I don't want to see any books removed from the library. I believe that is censorship, and been taking a pretty strong stance against that in the last 2 years when we've been pushed to label or segregate or ask questions about why and how staff are making these decisions. So I support our staff in making those professional decisions. I believe that the Board of Trustees should not be involved in this process. We're not right now. We're not involved in that process. We support our staff, and I would continue to do so.
Thank you. Candidate Cafmeyer.
I echo Holly's sentiments. It is not the board's position. We are there to support the staff and the director. I understand that people have different viewpoints, and that's what makes America great. And if they don't like a book and they want to challenge a book, there are policies and procedures put in place for that. And as a matter of fact, the board as a whole has gone over our selection material policy with a fine-tooth comb and ad nauseum, actually. So we have it where we're all in a tenuous form of agreement right now, but there's still pushback. I don't believe books should be censored. I believe that it is individual's right to choose what to read. What you might like, I may not like, and vice versa. But I am not going to sit there and tell you what you can or cannot read. And I don't want someone telling me as well. And I understand a lot of this is about children's books, but parents are supposed to be in charge of their children in our library. We have age restrictions who can be walking around the library by themselves, and a 2 or 4-year-old is not walking around just finding books on their own. They are with a parent, and the parent has the final say on what that child reads.
Thank you. Our final and 8th question for the night is, Cromaine District Library serves the township of Hartland, Brighton, Deerfield, Genoa, Osceola, and Tyrone. What are some of the ways the library can or could provide or improve service to areas some distance from the existing library building? Candidate Cafmeyer, we'll start with you.
Boy, that's a really good question. We have gone over this a lot. Back before COVID, we actually even started budgeting for a mobile library to get a van and be able to go around to these townships and take books to people. Excuse me. Sorry. Then COVID hit and everything kind of got put on hold, and we have not revisited the van idea in a while. And maybe now with the strategic plan and outreach being one of our four fingers to get to the community, maybe we can talk about that again. It is hard because we're so rural and we're so spread out, but we are going to revisit that, and that is one of our strategic objectives.
Thank you. Candidate Naylor.
Yeah, so I live on kind of the southern edge of the libraries district down in Brighton Township. So I do understand it is a jaunt for a lot of people. Outreach is one of the 4 focus areas of the strategic plan. We have talked about it for many years. I know that our staff do leave the library and go out into the community, but it's definitely an area that we could improve on. So I am looking forward to hearing staff suggestions as we work through the strategic plan so that we can support them and also become potentially involved as a board. Maybe going back to township meetings might be something that we could pursue as a board of trustees to improve connection with those outlying areas. This is definitely an area that we could do better, and I'm excited that we have chosen to focus on this as one of our 4 main priorities.
Thank you. Well, it's time for our closing statements. These can last up to 90 seconds each. We will begin with Candidate Naylor. Please give us your closing statement.
Cromaine Library is amazing. John Quincy Adams said, "To furnish the means of acquiring knowledge is the greatest benefit that can be conferred upon mankind." Cromaine staff worked incredibly hard to provide materials and programming that appeal to the interests of all members of our community. Cromaine Library is the means to acquiring knowledge in Hartland. It's also a place for free Wi-Fi, an after-school gathering space, a destination when somebody has cabin fever. Cromaine provides not just a physical space, but a feeling of community, which is sorely needed by many people. All are welcome here, and it is a wonderful place right now as it is. I feel that the voters in this district have a real choice to make this election. Mary Cafmeyer, Rebecca Fedewa, and Holly Naylor have demonstrated our ability to successfully steward this library while also staying in our lane as trustees. I believe our opponents want to change this and have the board become involved in new ways, such as influencing or mandating which books should or should not be available to you as an individual and as a parent. If you vote for Cafmeyer, Fedewa, and Naylor, you will get a continuation of our support for Cromaine staff and your ability to choose your own books. And the years ahead will focus on implementing our new strategic plan. If you vote for the other candidates, I believe that you will see an increase in pressure from the board to control staff decisions on books.
Thank you. And Candidate Cafmeyer, your closing statement, please.
I find it disappointing that our opponents did not choose to participate in this nonpartisan forum. Their participation would have allowed you to see the stark contrast in our visions for a strong and vibrant community library. The Cromaine Library Board of Trustees is a nonpartisan position. This is not the platform for someone who is promoting a political agenda. A friend of mine who resides in the Hartland School District told me that even though we might not agree on all the issues, she is voting for me because she knows I'm on the board for the right reasons. Those reasons are driven by my passion for the library and not by any kind of personal agenda. I've been on the board long before it became the hot ticket. The three incumbents, Holly Naylor, Rebecca Fedewa, and myself, have a proven track record. Our dedication and intentions for the library are transparent. We have no hidden agendas. We believe that it should not be up to one person or group of people to censor or ban books just because they don't like or agree with them. This goes directly against the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, which we vowed to uphold when we took our library oath. Attaching little American flags to your campaign signs doesn't mean you're a patriot. True patriotism means standing up for the U.S. Constitution. If you want the library to remain the open, welcoming place that it is, please cast your vote for all three of us. Thank you.
A huge thank you to each of you for participating in this valuable session. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Livingston County, Shirley Jackson will now provide a closing statement.
Thank you, Kelly. The League thanks the candidates for participating in tonight's forum. And we want to note that candidate Rebecca Fedewa planned to participate in tonight, but due to a family emergency that happened just this afternoon, she had to decline, unfortunately. So we also want to thank the League volunteers who assisted in the forum's development. And all of our forums will be available for streaming on the League of Women Voters of Livingston County's Facebook website and YouTube channel. You can also review these candidate forums when you go to the League's online voter guide, vote411.org. The League of Women Voters reserves the right to publicize the forum and may, at their option, invite the media or some other entity not associated with any of the candidates or campaigns to provide televised, radio, or other coverage of the forum. Copyright ownership of the tapes or transcripts resides with the League of Women Voters. The candidates and their supporters will not use the forum, portions of the forum, or any audio clips, video clips, or transcripts for political advertising or other purposes without written permission from the League of Women Voters. Just to let every listener know, absentee ballots are available on September 26th, the same day that the Vote 411, the League's online voter guide, is published and available for voter education. A printed copy of the voter guide is available at all public libraries in Livingston County. So I guess that includes the ones we're talking about tonight, right?
Yes.
Early voting begins October 26th through November 3rd, and you can find your voting precinct at the Michigan Secretary of State website. The general election is Tuesday, November 5th. You have plenty of opportunities to vote absentee, vote in early person, or on election day. Just be sure to use your voice and vote. And with that, we're going to say thank you to everyone and good evening.
Thank you.